Hi. So one of the biggest issues I've had this semester just happened in our last sprint. I was trying to make changes to our database schema and then push those changes to our database using Django. I wasn't able to do this because I kept getting different error messages. I was trying several things to get it to work by deleting the migration files that had been created from previous migrations, making changes to the database schema that I had come up with in case something was wrong there. Nothing really seemed to work. So I went ahead and Googled the error message and then found a tutorial that spoke about the exact error message I was getting and then followed along with that. Well, even that didn't work. I wasn't able to push my changes still. At this point, I really had no idea what to do. So I contacted my team. I told them, hey, I'm having issues. Our database is still in production. Would you be okay with me deleting the database, pushing these changes, and then we can have a working database again? Team said, fine, go ahead and do that. Just make sure you back up your information first, or back up the database first. So I did that, or at least I thought I did that. I tried back up the database, saved that file, went ahead and dropped the old database, and then pushed my changes. Was able to get everything to work after that. The database worked fine. I was able to populate it with information. I was able to get information back from the database to our controller. Everything seemed to work out just fine. Now, we didn't have any real data inside the database. It was just mock-up data. But because the size of our database is so big, it takes a long time and it's very tedious to fill our database with that information. So I thought that I would just be able to use the data from the old database that I saved and then put that inside the database. Well, what happened was when I went to save the database and back it up, I only saved one table. So we didn't have the information to put back inside the database. Now, of course, deleting the database and then pushing a new database every single time is not the best option. But at that point, it was the only thing I could think of to do. The issue was I didn't really research how migrations work in Django to MySQL databases. And my mistake was relying on an internet source to tell me how to fix the issue rather than researching how migrations work with Django and then being able to solve my problem that way. So what the issue was that the migrations that had happened before were designed to only work with one user. And so since I wasn't the person who made those changes in the first place, I wasn't able actually to change anything in our database by migrating it the way you normally would. So I learned from this experience that I would be able to look more into the software that I'm using and the tools that I have at my disposal rather than just relying on internet sources to tell me how to fix my problem. And so really what could have helped me out even more than that was speaking to someone who knew more about Django and who knew more about just software development in general, who probably could have led me in a better direction, which was my capstone sponsor. They have been very vocal about being able to help our team whenever we need it. And all I really needed to do was go and ask them, and they probably could have had an even better solution for me and quicker instead of wasting my time following internet instructions. So now I know for the future that when this happens, I can just go ahead and talk to people or research the tools that I have.